Hold on a minute. I've just got to pause this interview and just say something to the viewers. Okay. So welcome back to our interview with Pierre Poilievre, future Prime Minister of Canada. On the phone. He really is. He really is. He is definitely on the phone. So we're going to talk today about the changes in voting policy that the Liberals want to bring in, just so they can move over the election 1 week so everybody can get their pensions. Did you hear what I was saying there, Pierre? So what do you think? What's your opinion on them moving the election or shifting it by 1 week with these new policies?
It's not, and no, I'm not good with the changes. I agree that the election shouldn't be on a holiday for millions of Canadians to volley. However, the answer to that is move the election forward. Move it forward a month.
So you would vote against it?
I will vote against it, yeah. Again, I don't think the election should be on Diwali. It's an important holiday for a lot of people. Just move it forward a month. But of course, it's not about Diwali. They want to get their pensions. That's why Jagmeet Singh doesn't want an election right now. He doesn't get pensioned up until next year. And so he's keeping Trudeau in power and avoiding an election he might lose, or he will lose, until he gets past the pension finish line. So they're putting their pensions and their paychecks ahead of the well-being of Canadians who can't pay their bills. It's another example of how Trudeau is not worth the cost.
Let's move on from that now, Pierre. Let's talk about Anthony Housefather. He sounds very disillusioned with what's going on with the Liberal government and with what was said about Israel and things that are going on with the protests and everything in Canada. What's your opinion on Housefather? Do you think that, well, does the Conservative Party need a Liberal? Or, you know, what's your opinion on all of this?
A lot of common sense Liberals feel dispossessed. It's not so much that they're leaving the Liberal Party, it's the Liberal Party's left them. Justin Trudeau is not a Liberal. He's a radical socialist. He's effectively an NDP Prime Minister. He's doubled our national debt. He's printed $600 billion of cash. He's ruined our money. He's quadrupling the carbon tax. He's doubled housing costs. He's unleashed a crime wave in this country with catch and release. He's effectively legalizing crack, heroin, and cocaine. He's attacking parents and kids. He's so radical that most Liberals don't feel at home anymore in their own party, and they're looking to common sense conservatives to axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, stop the crime. And I'll work with any former Liberal who shares those 4 priorities.
So if he crossed the House to the Conservative Party, you would talk to him, take him under your wing?
I'd talk to anybody who wants to axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, stop the crime. And that includes Anthony Housefather.
Well, yeah, like you said before, there's consequences to these motions that they've pushed by not sending anything else to Israel anymore. But Jolly is one of the people who's dead against it. It's so divisive in the House of Commons. All of this Palestine-Israel thing. What's your opinion on what's going to happen next?
Well, there are consequences when the government chooses for there to be. 3 years ago, we passed a motion in the House of Commons. Actually, sorry, it's more than that now. It's 6 years ago, we passed a motion in the House of Commons to criminalize the terrorist organization, the IRGC, the same terrorist group that went on to murder 55 Canadians by shooting down PS 752, a flight on which Canadian citizens were flying. Then that group orchestrated the October 7th attack by working with Hamas to carry out the brutal and vicious genocidal assault on Israel. And to this day, this group operates legally in Canada. They raise money, they recruit.
So what would you do?
Criminalize them. Put them on the list of banned terrorist organizations so that it is a crime to provide them any material support. That motion passed the House of Commons 6 years ago, and Trudeau still has not made the executive decision that he has the power to make, which is to criminalize this group. I will ban them day one.
Well, what about the protests that are going on at the moment that may be, or supposedly, funded by the IRGC? Would you crack down on that?
Yes, I will ban IRGC, which I believe is behind many of these protests. I'll ban other terrorist organizations that have links back to Tehran, to Hamas, to Hezbollah. I will also bring in a foreign influence registry that requires anyone who gets payment from a foreign government or organization to manipulate our politics to be listed on a public website so that we know who they are, with criminal sanctions for any who hide. And we will shut down foreign-controlled police stations. We will expel thugs from foreign regimes that have set themselves up here using the plunder they stole from their people. We're going to bring home control of our democracy again.
One of the questions we get asked a lot in the comment section is about the mass immigration. What would you do about the mass immigration? Would you stop mass immigration? They're looking at bringing in over 1 million people every year, 500,000 already this year almost. What would you do to stop mass immigration? Would you do anything?
The same thing we did before Trudeau, which is to bring in the number of people that we can house, employ, and serve, which would, we had, prior to Trudeau, we had the best immigration system in the world. It prioritized people who our economy needed to fill in holes in our job market. It linked the population growth to the number of homes that were built, and it worked. Immigration wasn't even a controversial issue 8 years ago, but then Trudeau got in and he destroyed, him and Sean Fraser destroyed the international student program by just letting anyone come in, even if they didn't have a real educational institution, a home, or an income. And he allowed mass illegal immigration across Roxham Road, and then with the removal of the Mexican visa requirement. I would reverse all of those disastrous decisions and bring back the common sense immigration system that worked so well for so long here in the country we love.
One last question. Dental and pharmacare. Are you going to keep it or are you going to get rid of it?
First of all, there's nothing to keep. These are promises. They haven't actually delivered on them. The second is it's not so clear that this pharmacare proposal, what it's going to do to people's existing plans. So well over 90% of Canadians have pharmaceutical coverage. The federal legislation bans those. So watch out, because if they actually implement what they call a single-payer plan, that means that private plans won't be allowed. So your workplace plan could be lost and replaced with an inferior government plan. Are you prepared to risk the coverage you now have for a plan that Justin Trudeau brings in, that so far, by the way, only includes 2 treatments, treatments for diabetes and contraception, and that by itself costs $1.5 billion. If I were, you're a unionized worker who's got a good plan right now, you better hold on to it, because Justin Trudeau and the NDP want to take it away and replace it with an inferior government plan. My common sense approach is to axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, stop the crime.
Thank you, Pierre, for being on the show, being a great sport, for coming on the phone, sort of. And we'll talk to you next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview in 2 parts. If you didn't see the first part, the link is going to be in the description. Don't forget to subscribe or even like the video if you enjoyed this type of content. We try to be there every day. There's always something to talk about in Canada, that's for sure. Okay, till next time.